So guys, Amar here, and I want to each one of you welcome to this first section, or should I say second, that is Introduction to C#. I know you just want to learn how to make games, but if you do not know the C# language, that will be really hard to do it or even impossible. So here we'll first learn C#. Like, I want to explain it as much as I can. If you have some, should I say, problems with learning, or I did not explain something really that good so you understand, you can always send me a message or a question to say something even more about it. But I will do my best to explain as in-depth as I can so you guys can learn the most out of it. So first we need a project. If you created the first game, I'm gonna create it there. If you did not, just go to new, then create here test. You can put 3D or 2D, that's not important. And then just open up our project. Now that we are in our first game project, or if you created a new project, never mind, go to scripts folder. Then create a folder that we'll call C#. Go into that one folder and create a C# script. We'll call this test. So now we can open up our C# script in our Visual Studio or Mono Develop, that depends on you. If you want to change that, just go to Edit, then go to Preferences, go to External Tools, and here you can change whatever you like more. I mean, it's just my preference, but I like more Visual Studio than Mono Develop, but you can use anything you want. Now, when you decide what you want to use, open up our script so we can start. Now that we are in our script, the first thing I usually do, I delete these comments. But for the sake of this video, because I will talk about them later on, I'm gonna leave them. So whenever you start out a new programming language, most of the times the first subject you're gonna talk about or you're gonna learn is variables. So what are they and how we can declare them. So we declare our variable. First I forgot to say what are they. Well, we can use them in our script. We use them like all the time here are in our Ninja. That will be these. So these are variables, not these actually, but these float, boolean, but we can call them too. But in C# we do not have rigid body. That's something that mono behavior has, and that is about unity. So I'm not gonna talk about that. So as I was saying, variables we use, like, as you can see, not here, but in our Ninja we can use like speed, jump force, and all these kind of stuff. So as you can see, when we want to declare a variable, we first type in what type we want. First goes type, then it goes name, and then we declare a value. So for example, we call float, let's say speed, and we will say something like 2.4, and put f at the end and semicolon to end the statement. So why do we have to put 4 here, f? Well, I'm gonna give you an example later on, but I'm just gonna talk about float a little bit. So float is a decimal point, as you can see, 2.4. You can use it even to put only 2, because compiler will recognize it as 2.0 because it's a decimal number. Now we have another variable that is a double, so call it double. And we'll call this damage, which is equal to, let's say, 30.5. And you may be asking yourself, do you have to put D at the end or F? But because it's double, we can put D. But let's say if I did not put F at the end and I did not put D at the end of a double, we have a problem for our float. And let's see at console, what does it say? Well, literal of type double cannot be implicitly converted to type float, adds suffix f to create a letter of this type. So all that is saying that when we do not put an f at the end and we put a decimal kind of number, we are actually trying to say that is a double, because for a double we do not need to put anything at the end. Yeah, we can put d at the end, that would be no problem, but we actually do not have to. So to recognize float, we need to put f at the end if we are going to use decimal number. And what is the difference between double and float? Well, let's say float, I'm gonna show you example real quick. So let's say we create we created that. We're gonna say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, and here I'm gonna say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 0 9 then 0, and again copy that, not 2, yeah, from 1 2, and put it like this. So now I'm gonna show you an example. In our start function, we're gonna print that out. I'm gonna print speed, and I'm gonna print damage. Come on, damage. Now you're going to see when I start our script, but first I need to attach to something. I'm gonna attach this script just on our main camera so I can show you what I'm talking about. Just to attach it, just drag it on and put it here in our main camera, or you can press add component and type in test here. So as you can see now, when I start our game, so I'm going to pause it because I don't want this game to be running in the background. As you can see, here is our float, and it's precise to the number of 7. So it goes 1 2 3 4 5, and it skips 6 and goes to the point 7, because 6 and 7 recognize, not because I'm gonna say it here, because we have here 6, then 7, it's just gonna say 7 because it's a bigger number. And if I put here like 4, it will be 6 again. So never mind that. As for double, it's more precise, and it goes over 10 numbers and plus 3. So it means it goes 13 numbers after the decimal point. So here, there is example for what are difference between float and our double. So I'm going to change it back to 2.4.4f, and here 30.5, I think it was, yeah. So you can see that our difference between speed and double. So I mean, and that is, as I said, double is more precise than our float, but most of the times we are going to use float. Now next thing, or you may be asking me, how we call a whole number, and that is by calling an integer, and we're going to say power, which is equal to 100. So if I wanted to put like int power 100.4, we cannot do that again, because we cannot convert type double to an integer, so we are missing a cast. So as you can see, we cannot do that. So put just int power to be 100, and that is how you call a whole number. And one thing I forgot to mention is these namings. You want to, I'm just going to delete these because we do not need them. You want to name we want to give a name that has some meaning to it. Like in our ninja, we have speed, jump force, bounce. In our collector, we do not have anything. Not player or like camera script, we have like here bounce too, yeah, and stuff like that. Why? Well, because let's say you leave a project for a long time, 6 months, years, 2 years, or even more, and you come back to a project and it says 1 2 3, not 1 2 3, but let's say 1 2 2 3 equals to 2.4. And you will go like, what does 1 2 3 means? Well, I mean, if I just created now 1 2 3 and put it to be a speed of our ninja, you can remember that like week 2 or when you're using a project. But if you leave it for some time and you come back and you were like 1 2 3, what was that? Where do I use 1 2 3? And then you'll have some hard time to actually find it. So right now I'm just gonna undo whatever I did so we can see float speed. Next thing I want to talk about is a string. So what is a string? Well, first you type in a string, then we say player name, and now we can use characters. But we cannot use characters just like typing like this, but we need to put them in our quotes. So put quotes and type anything you want between these quotes, like this. So anything you type in here will be recognized, and anything you type like this will not be, and you will just get an error like I just did. So here for our player name, we're gonna say Amar. I know, original, but let's just leave it as that, Amar. And we can use that, as you can see, for player name to call it out if you do not want to hard code things. Because let's say we're in our collector, we have like target org, we could create here string. So we can create string here, call it like org, and type in here org, and here we can just type like this string org. So every time we use a string org, so let's say we need to use it like 10 times in our script, and we do not want to make a mistake, like if I put here org1, this would not work, or if I misspell something, our target will not be recognized. So I need to be sure that is right, so I'm gonna type it like here org, so we can know that everything, I mean not everything, but that our script is all right. And we need to type in more strings, like as I said, we need to type like 10 strings. This is how you're gonna do it, so you do not hard code things. That's bad coding if you hard code. So I'm gonna leave it as before. As I said, I did not put it here because we only use it once, and if I had a problem, I would immediately know what was it. Last variable but not least is our boolean, and we're gonna say like bool, and then we'll say grounded. So for our boolean, for value, we can put it to be true or false. And we are going to use our booleans for conditional statements, like in our Ninja, where we check if our age is greater than 0. If this is true, then we're going to call out this block of numbers. Like here, we put if our grounded is true, we're going to say grounded is false, and we're going to jump with our player. Simple as that, guys. Simple. That is what I like the most about programming. It's just logic. So that will be it for our variables. And as I said, last thing I want to talk about is these tags or comments. So we declare them by typing two forward slashes or slashes. I'm not so sure. I think these are slashes. Yeah. So anything you type here, like you can type anything you want, but usually it goes something like this. Like I create void movement and I say this is for player, for let's say keyboard movement, and let's say we have void movement 2. I will go above that script and type in this is for mobile movement, or something like that. So that is how we're going to use our comments, because when we type in float speed, we know that is speed for our player. If we do not know, then just type it in comment, but usually you would know that. And there is one more way to type in a comment, and that is by adding these. So you just add /, then this multiply sign, then multiply sign, and backslash, or again /. I'm confused with these slashes, so that is the same slash out. So yeah, backslash, multiply, and then multiply backslash. And now you can type as many lines as you want to be for any comment. So here, let's say you want to say credits go for developer Amar, John, I do not know any names, like something like that. or you can say this was a fun project to learn, stuff like that. But as I said, you do not need these comments, because, I mean, not need, but you can use them in useful way, or a way that I just showed you that is like fun way, if you ask me. So as I said, if you want to say something more about your script, we're going to use comments, and there are two types of comments that we can use. So I'm going to leave them now. So guys, that will be everything for these variables, and until next time, I'm Amar, and goodbye.